page. I can do this while I'm touch typing, right? That way I don't have to look down and they'll take the picture when I'm looking down.
There you go.
And waiting for it to come up. Go ahead. Get it while I'm glancing down.
All right. So, how you been this week?
All right. Just hanging out, writing some code, doing some good time.
Managing the Discord channel.
Exploring new things. I'll talk about that a little bit more in the Patreon show.
Okay.
I made a breakthrough.
Oh, did you now?
Oh yeah.
You invented warp drive using Discord.
It's something I've always wanted to do, and it makes me really appreciate the engineers at ServiceNow even more.
Okay. Fair enough.
All right. This is our Thanksgiving show.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of hoping for a quiet week this week because, a lot of people are taking vacation and stuff, and usually gets quiet around the holidays a little bit.
Sometimes it does.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You ready to begin?
Let's go.
Dun, dun, dun. God is my witness. I thought cyber turkeys could fly.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Technorama episode 790. Cyber turkeys attack! Nice job with the title there, Craig.
Nice job with the reverb, Chuck.
Hey, it's just a couple of buttons away.
Right.
Welcome to Technorama. This is the show that takes a lighthearted look at tech, science, sci-fi, and all things geek. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome to the show. If you're a returning guest, welcome back. We're like yesterday's coffee. We're just going to stay here till we're not here. No.
We're cold until you stick us in the microwave.
Just don't leave it on the burner and burn it down to nothing.
Right.
Nobody likes that smell.
No, nobody likes burnt coffee.
My name is Chuck Tomasi from Phoenix, Arizona, and that's...
Hey.
You are?
Oh, I got to announce my name. I'm Craig Stepp.
So right at the bottom of the screen.
From dark Hendersonville, North Carolina.
How you doing, Craig?
I'm doing good. I'm really good.
Have a good week?
Yeah, it was all right. I got some stuff accomplished. Did some pretty heavy coding, which was fun. Got through it.
Coding is fun. Yeah. When it works.
When it works.
When it works.
Yeah, and I will say, I'm gonna tell you something. I know we've talked about it a little bit on the Patreon, but coding nowadays with as good as AI has gotten, it's really helped. Not necessarily, well, I've done some proof of concepts real quick, but but the code that I'm actually going to push out, it's great to at least say, hey, can you review this and look for any errors or suggest them better, get some suggestions. And it gives you a lot of stuff that you can just kind of read through rather than trying to scan through and figure it out.
Yeah.
Which it's really a time saver. Sure is.
I have had a few hallucinations lately. It's saying, I'd say, hey, is there an NPM package to do blah, blah, blah? And it says, sure, try this. Like, that's not a real thing. You just made up a package and a code snippet and none of it's real. Like, try again. It goes, oh, sorry about that. I like how that Gemini anyway has those little gestures at the beginning. Like, yes, that is extremely frustrating that this isn't working yet. Like, this is our sixth try. What do you think?
It's like Network Chuck. For anybody that doesn't watch his channel, I would highly recommend it. He's entertaining, got a lot of energy, and he's knowledgeable, and he's a lot of fun to watch. He was talking about he was talking about agents using Claude Code and agents, because you can set up several agents to go off and do things while you're doing something else, which is really cool. And one of them he set it up where it was brutal, brutally honest, and that kind of. And one of the things he said, "Don't try and gaslight me." Like, "Hey, this looks like great code." Oh, the cheery
Yeah.
outlook all the time. He wanted something honest to give him some critique, and I thought that was an interesting thought to do something like that.
Was that the one that he was putting into the N8N flow when he was integrating AI into that?
I'm trying to remember if that was it or not.
Okay. Anyway,
No, no, he was talking about Claude Code and the itself. He was talking about using AI to code. Is that
gotcha.
right? I don't remember. But anyway, it's one of his recent, more recent episodes, and yeah, it was funny. Don't gaslight me. Hey there, this is great. I'm glad you're doing this. This is a great idea.
Don't blow smoke up my skirt.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's get on with our question of the week.
Right.
I didn't get any. Not from your guy.
I mean, look.
6 at a time.
Wait, what?
Those letters, I love those letters. Let's find out what you got to say. Oh boy, mailman,
Ding dong.
mail today.
Our question of the week for you last time was, when you were younger, who influenced you? And we have an answer. I forgot to share this on social media, but Discord was doing pretty good. We got one from Lone Guys Night. He says, how much younger are we talking here? Steve Martin has always been an influence since the 70s.
Yes.
In the last year, I'd say Lucy Darling has been an influence as well. I was younger when I found both of them. So how much younger do we mean? Younger than you are now. How's that?
Yeah.
Anything relative to now?
Yeah, just when you're young. Actually, when I thought of this question, I was thinking of, when I was probably 8 to 15, or something like that.
Those formative years.
Formative years where you're like, oh, this guy's really funny, or maybe I love this author. You read a book that's impressed on you, that kind of thing.
Sure. John Kratzer says, junior high science teacher. Don't remember his real name, but we called him Caveman.
Caveman.
He turned me on to technology.
Well, there you go. Yeah. And I could even mention, I know we've talked about this before. I had a couple of teachers that encouraged me to go code once I finished whatever work we were doing in the room. There was a computer in the back, and I would go mess around with that. I had a math teacher that did that. And I really appreciated it, which, led to some other hijinks.
They didn't encourage me. They just said, what are you doing, man? It's 5 o'clock. Go home.
Turn 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock. You were at school at 5 o'clock?
I used to stay after. That was the best time, man. It was quiet. I had there were like 2 apples at the time, and I had one of them all to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was great. The problem was you couldn't ask anybody any questions.
Yeah. Well,
and you had to walk home because the bus left 2 hours ago.
I know. The math teacher that was encouraging me, her name is escaping me. I'll have to think about it. It wasn't like I was saving data or I was messing with the computer, but I wasn't really saving anything. So the next time I went back, it was like kind of starting over. I knew what I knew, but I'm, trying to, it wasn't like I was building a project or something.
Right.
So, because it was very little time, but yeah. And, the other Miss Leslie, she was in, it was a building next door to a high school, where they do career development. It was called CDC, but it's not anymore because of the CDC. But we had a data processing class, accounting class, and a business law class. I thought the business law was kind of fascinating, the way laws were structured and how they work. But the data processing, I had a lot of free reign because I had a lot of experience already with what we were doing. But what was funny was I would do things like, oh, this computer, you can set it to turn on when at a certain time. So I'd had it automatically turn on during the next class and turn off, and people were not very thrilled with that. Anyway.
Smart Alec.
Good times.
All right, let's flip over to the Discord channel.
Yeah. What do they
Question
got?
of the Week episode 790 says, Tom P says, Harmon Killebrew, John Glenn, and my father. We have a number of people that said authors, including Mad Marv, Piers Anthony, and Isaac Asimov.
Oh, yeah.
Geekier teachers like would have found Heinlein and other sci-fi authors when I was still in school. Humanoid says, Michael Noel, Desiree Ertz. I'm guessing on some of these.
Mhm.
Guy Sanche. They come to mind. These characters were very popular with children in Quebec. I
Okay.
didn't speak any English when I was a kid, so I watched mostly local shows or dubbed ones. Mad Scott says, there's a lot of younger to pick from.
Well, yeah, at this point, yes.
Early, it was on the Sunday Funnies, Wizard of Id, Hagar, Far
Mm.
Side. Later, it was Larry Hama. G.I. Joe was my first big comic collection. The Dragonlance books from Weiss and Hickman. Hey, Tracy Hickman used to be part of Dragon Page, didn't he? Or Farpoint?
Oh, yes. Yes, he did.
Dad had an old Lenny Bruce album. Oh, my.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, Carlin.
Yeah.
Ryan Brown says, Dr. Demento and all the zany songs he brought into my life.
I knew somebody was going to bring that up.
Well, it has to be Brian because of all the fun songs that he's putting on the Discord server in the music channel. He's been playing with AI, making some songs. Good stuff, too.
I wish I was familiar with Dr. Demento when I was younger.
Oh, man.
I
I think I discovered him in college.
Hmm?
That was close enough.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think he was in our radio network or something, but
I
never knew about him until like
he was in ours. It was just like Sunday morning at 5 a.m. I
Yeah.
got up and recorded him.
Actually, I don't think I knew much about him until, well, and that's not true. I knew about that Weird Al, and then later on, I remember reading about Weird Al a little bit deeper, after a few years, and I was like, "Oh, Dr. Demento, what's that?"
Yep.
It sounds interesting. Yeah.
NCAF is also on authors. He's got Isaac Asimov in here, but also Monty Python and Douglas Adams.
Second that one.
And Sweet Steve says Tolkien. But that he said I would have said Tolkien, but that would be a bit boring. I tried to rewrite Lord of the Rings. Oh my.
What?
Then Stephen King and Peter Straub came into the picture. But who influenced me as a kid? I can't remember. Probably my granddad and my father.
Oh.
But someone that I came to admire as an adult is Adam Savage.
Yes, very much.
He had
So.
inspired me a lot, both during Mythbusters and mostly from the Tested YouTube show. And one of my favorite artists is Ian McHugh. His designs for different sci-fi films is fantastic. And he's got a link in there. Z Fritz also says Asimov, Jules Verne, feeding my fascination for technology and keeping the belief that the future will bring great things. I'm going to massacre a few more names here. Bernard Victor Christoph Karl von Bülow.
Okay.
Shorter. known to the public under his pen name Laureate. A great humorist with a sharp eye in the absurdities of life, an institution in German comedy culture, although his work is slowly fading away from the general memory. He's got a link in there for that as well.
You know what? I will
Good
go
stuff.
read about him and put him in my general memory. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah.
He might still be able to influence you.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Hey, I'm not above being influenced.
No, we are influencers.
Yeah. Right. Is that what it is? Okay.
Right. I guess we can also be influencees.
Influencees.
As long as you don't get influenza.
No, don't do that.
All right, that's it for this week.
Hey,
in the
not
question of the
at
week.
your advanced age.
No. Get your influencer. Get your influencer shot.
Influencer shot.
Get vaccinated against influencers.
Right.
I'm not sure how that's working out. All right, we'll be back with more of that nonsense later. But first, the history.
Yeah.
This is how it goes for November 26th on this day. It's the 330th day of the year. There are just, do the math, clickety, clickety, click, 35 days left in the year. Wowzers.
Yeah.
He was on this date in 1778 in the Hawaiian Islands. Captain James Cook became the first European to visit Maui.
He got a drink while he was there.
He stopped at Jimmy or Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Yeah, that's right. All right, 236 years ago today, a National Thanksgiving Day was observed in the United States, as proclaimed by President George Washington at the request of Congress.
Also on November 26, 1805, Thomas Telford's Ponticillite Aqueduct. Wow, that Ponticillite. It's
Sounds
got
like
C's and Y. It's got two Y's in it. That's where I'm tripping. This aqueduct was officially opened.
This aqueduct. And it was 103 years ago today that Howard Carter and Lord Carnarvon.
Carnarvon.
Carnarvon, whatever.
You gotta know your Egyptian history, man.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because of the first people became the first people to enter the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun in over 3,000 years.
King Tut. Hey, Steve Martin. There's another influence.
Tutankhamun, that's right.
60 years ago today, France launched Asterisk. I don't know. It's French. It became the third nation to put an object into orbit using its own booster.
And it also became the Shift 8 character.
On a U.S. keyboard.
On a U.S. keyboard.
If you put it in its booster, when it gets to be about 5 years old, you can go to a regular car seat.
Right. Also today in 1970, Basseterre, Guadalupe, 38 millimeters of rain fell in a minute. Just like fell out.
Someone was on the roof with a bucket. Come on.
Yeah, poof. It was the heaviest rainfall ever recorded. Wow.
An inch and a half in 1 minute.
That's
called waterboarding.
That's like flooding problem. It's huge.
All right. Also on November 26, 1983 was the Brinks Mat robbery in London. 6,800 gold bars worth nearly 26 million pounds were stolen from the Brinks Mat vault at Heathrow Airport.
Oops.
Didn't know there was a vault at the airport.
Yeah. Well, it's for people unlike you, Chuck. Yeah. They need a vault.
How do I stay in that lounge?
Yeah. You got to get the card. The Concorde made its final flight over Bristol, England on this date in 2003.
On November 26, 2018, the robotic probe InSight landed on Elysia Planitia Mars.
And it was 4 years ago today during the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember that, kids? The World Health Organization identified the SARS-CoV-2 Omicron variant.
Omicron? Remember all that nonsense?
Yeah, no.
Even Star Trek couldn't be consistent, and they had it on an episode.
That's true.
Happy birthday goes out in this day to German organist and composer Johannes Bach, born on this date in 1604. Good luck.
And French geologist, geophysicist, and astronomer Jean-Jacques Diotoris de Marion was born 347 years ago today.
Alsatian France chemist Charles Adolphe Wurst, born on this date in 1870. Wow, I almost said Atlassian.
You almost said what?
Atlassian.
Oh, yeah, Atlassian. German-French physicist and academic Rudolf Koenig was born 193 years ago today.
Here's an easier one. Willis Carrier, the American engineer and inventor of air conditioning, was born 149 years ago today.
And Ford Beebe,
American
director and screenwriter, was born on that same date in 1888.
If you are a Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan, you'll recognize that name.
Yeah, that's right.
American activist and co-founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill W. Are you a friend of Bill?
Yeah.
He was born on this date in 1895.
And Carl Ziegler, German chemist and engineer, Nobel Prize laureate, was born on that same date in 1898.
American businessman, co-founder of McDonald's, Maurice McDonald, was born on this date in 1902.
And also born on November 26, 1922, American cartoonist. He created Peanuts, Charles M. Schulz.
Also turning 89 today, You know what his nickname was? You know what Charles Schultz's nickname was?
I'm not sure what.
Sparky.
Oh, Sparky, really?
Also turning 89 today is English computer scientist and psychologist Margaret Bowden.
And Italian mathematician and academic Enrico Bombieri is 85 today.
Also born that same date in 1949, East Timorese geographer and politician, the first prime minister, I don't know, it must have been the geographer thing, Mari Alkatiri.
Mari Alkatiri. And also turning 73 today is Mexican-American science teacher and entomologist Elsa Salazar Cade.
I think it's Cade.
Okay, yes.
Oh, it could be Cade. It's Mexican-American.
We don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
We don't know. Yeah, we really don't know. We're just making it up as we go.
Hey, don't put me down.
Listener birthdays this week include November 26th, Joni, November 26th, Brad P. from NJ, but who was born in VA and moved back there. Ben Sweetser on the 28th, Claudio Miranda on December 1st, and Ben Frixel from the MacMania podcast on December 2nd. I'm not sure why it says November on those because that date is way in the past.
Yeah.
There we go. Fixed.
Computer error.
The music ran out, but that's the way it was on this day in history for November 26, 2025. If you want to be on the birthday calendar, if you're not on the birthday calendar, well, we wish you all the best. We hope you have a wonderful birthday. Congratulations for making another trip around the sun, as they say. And we would like to give you a shout out. If you feel so inclined, go over to chuckchat.com/birthday. Fill out the form. We'll give you a shout out at the appropriate time of year. We're even going to put it in the database on the Discord server. So it gives you a shout out at the appropriate time of year.
There's the address right there.
There it is. Ding. Oh, it's almost that time.
Yeah.
For Grant's Advent calendar.
Yes, it is. Actually, it's almost time for the Dog Days of Advent as well.
News articles. I'm glad you said so.
Yeah, just like I said. Oh, by the way, shout out to Charles Schultz and I was going to say Jim Davis. I was thinking of other people that influenced me when Mad Scott was talking about all the cartoonists.
Yeah,
those are a lot of the ones that he mentioned, but those two as well. So we'll be doing that all throughout the whole show, probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
All right, we have an article from Nerdist.com. Apparently, a very, very good copy, rated 9.0 out of 10 of Superman comic #1, not Action Heroes or Action Comics #1, but Superman #1, sold for $9 million at auction.
Wow. Can you imagine doing that and your wife go, "You spent $9 million on a comic book"?
It's an investment, dear. It's an investment.
Yeah,
So,
this is kind of amazing. These brothers, didn't they say they found him the copy in a box with some other
it was
newspapers?
it was in a box in mom's attic. Mom passed away
Mom, yeah.
during COVID, and they just got around to cleaning out the house. This is a classic story. It's like it was stored away. She bought it in the 30s. It was the Depression era.
It's
And
lucky that there wasn't with newspaper in a box and then it's lucky that some mice didn't
oh my
find it and
gosh,
start
ice or
making a
water
dent.
damage, humidity, a lot of things could have destroyed this. They said it was stored with other like newspaper clippings and whatnot. But
Well,
this is an amazing find.
In an old house that Kim and I originally rented, I remember we went in the attic one time and it was not a happy place. That attic had been, that house was old as the hills. And,
Yeah.
so it was nasty up there and every creature known to man's probably been through it. And I remember finding some newspaper clippings about Kennedy and stuff like that. I was like, wow. And the newspapers were not in that great a shape. So for this to be in such a good shape around other newspapers, like I said, rodents could have grabbed any of that
so
stuff.
long.
Yeah,
Did they move? How many times? The fact that it's still there.
Hey, the temperature variance in an attic.
Exactly.
Itself. That's got to be.
Yep.
So, it's amazing.
Could be frost and humidity and hot and stuffy.
And then on top of it, it was printed back in 1938, so it's
Probably not on the highest quality paper.
no, it's not. But I think they seal it in those little seals when they do a rating, don't they put some inert gas or something in there to kind of keep it
I
from
would definitely go into preservation mode on that thing before I even touched it. I'd like, whoa, put that back.
well
Put
hell,
that back.
after you spend $9 million, you better.
It's gonna be like sealed in this argon case.
Hey Chuck, can I see your comment? Yes, it's behind those three panels of 3-inch glass.
It's behind the bulletproof glass, behind the Mona Lisa. Okay.
Yeah. Behind the Mona Lisa. Yeah.
All right. We have another article from NASA, science.nasa.gov,
All right.
with some pictures that they've been snapping of the Comet 3I Atlas, because the closest it's going to get to us is actually not to us. It's 19 million miles. Well, was 19 million miles about a month and a half, 2 months ago, to Mars. The Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter snapped a few pictures. We're only going to get like 170 million miles away or something. It's like twice the distance of the sun, which means it's going to be behind the sun for part of it.
You're right.
Not the best approach angle, but we have lots of satellites and orbiters and other stuff that's out there in space taking pictures of it, including things that are going around the sun. It says, hey,
Right,
if you look over there, you can get a picture of the comet pretty good.
The Sun Observatory is like, hey, what went behind me?
The video from the Sun Observatory looks like the picture from my old TV when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
Move the rabbit ears on the satellite. It'll work
Yeah.
better.
You're somewhere in between two channels.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it is not a great picture. I was really hoping for something. I'm sure there's got to be a better picture before this thing leaves.
It's very far away.
I know, but
It's
still.
just the fact that it's here at all is amazing because it came from another solar system somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's giving scientists a lot of insights as they start to look at the composition and go, wait a minute, maybe all of the solar systems do not have the same composite materials, or because our sun isn't like an OG star. It's not, otherwise it'd be, helium, hydrogen, and we wouldn't have any of the heavier elements around us, and we wouldn't be here. So we had a supernova at least once to create those heavier elements and then condense into another solar system. So, where did this thing come from?
I wonder if any neighboring systems, I know it's a long way, but as things were spreading out from the Big Bang, neighboring systems may have similar elements like that we would, but maybe a little further out, another swath may have different elements.
I don't know if I'd count on it because because the star is going to start with a different mass. So its supernova will create different elements when it explodes. So you're going to get this mishmash of elements in the next solar system. So what it's made out of is going to be different than what ours is made out of. We got a couple of comments in here that, let's see. We've got Charlotte saying, I have a paper of Kennedy.
Yeah. It was pretty cool to see.
Like JFK, not RFK Jr.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, these were really old newspapers. I wasn't that great quality, but it was really interesting to see.
Is there some sort of drive to celebrate and bring more attention to the manhole cover that got blasted into orbit? The Tesla Roadster?
What? No, there was. What was that? There was a.
I don't remember that story.
I do remember the story, but I'm trying to recall it. Anyway,
we also have Kids Have Taken Over. Yeah, that's pretty much this show.
I was gonna say he's referring to us.
Yeah, as well as what is this? Someone was doom scrolling and picked up on us. Good
After
job.
20 years, we're still trying to answer that.
Bill Cosby before he went crazy. Yes, that was an influence that I had. He had some funny stuff when he was here years ago. It was kind of evergreen, like The Crazy Wife. Her head split apart.
Yeah, the what was that?
Daddy's great. He gave us the chocolate cake.
what's that? At one record,
There's
recording of this
Chuck's
show.
hair is all back. Yeah, this is like day 89.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
actually had the sides trimmed a week ago.
Yeah. There was the Bill Cosby one where the stand up where he was talking about his wife being pregnant. They were talking about breathing and all that. I
Oh, yeah.
remember that whole yeah, exactly. The whole thing was hilarious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if you've had kids of your own.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We have an article from opensource.microsoft.com. They have open sourced another one for us. This is the original Infocom trilogy, Zork 1, 2, and 3. Did you look at the source code?
No, I haven't yet. Did you go look at it?
Oh, yeah. I did not realize this was in its own, not really custom language, but it's in what they call ZIL files, which
Yeah.
is a derivative of Lisp.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at it, I went, wow, I would not want to write any of that stuff. I couldn't like infer what it was. Like, let's go to the macros file. Hey.
I do need to go look at it. That was my first thought. It's like, hey, I can go look at the code.
And good luck with that. It was actually kind of cool because that's what made it cross compatible. You had these things on Apple IIs and PCs and many, many more. It was really heralded as very innovative for its time, even though it had no graphics. It was all text adventure, so everything was in your head.
I actually loved that aspect of it, and I was totally bought into their mantra about the best graphics is in your head, your imagination as
Theater of the mind, yeah.
Yeah.
So it says, more than 40 years later, Zork is still alive and easier than ever to play. The games remain commercially available on the Zork Anthology on Good Old Games. For those who enjoy a more hands-on approach, the games can be compiled and run locally using Zilf. That sounds like something you find on a porn site.
All right, there you go, bringing us down.
The modern Z machine interpreter created by Tara McGrew. Zilf compiles ZIL files into Z3s that can be run with Tara's own ZLR, which is a sentence I never thought I'd write, much less say out loud. That was the author right there.
Oh.
There's a huge number of wonderful Z machine runners across platforms for you to explore, and they give you the Windows commands to actually make that happen. But yeah, this is kind of cool. You know, put it in an old terminal window and away you go. This is
Well, I think people have been asking for this to be open sourced for a long time because obviously Infocom is not around anymore.
How did Microsoft land with the licenses?
I don't know, other than maybe they were sponsoring it because of GitHub.
Maybe it's on GitHub. That's where I was poking around.
Microsoft owns GitHub now, so
right
now I have downloaded a lot of the Z machine. What were they calling it? The emulators that you could download the databases and play the games. I did that on my phone for a while. That was kind of fun. You sit there and play the adventures, the text adventures on your phone.
Part of the story I didn't realize was that this wasn't originally a trilogy. When it was on the mainframe, it was all one story, but it was so big they couldn't port it to PCs at the time. So they said, we're going to break it into 3.
Yeah, right. And then there was a Zork Zero.
That has no sugar. It's all
there's no sugar. That's right. So, yeah, I used to love these games.
It's the non-alcoholic version of Zork.
Yeah, I think I played almost all of them at some point, especially the Hitchhikers one. I thought was great. It had a lot of quirky things about it. That was like you had Zork and all these other games. There was kind of pretty, I say, straightforward in trying to tell the stories, and you're playing them with the keyboard. And the Hitchhiker's Guide had some twists to that a little bit.
Yeah,
and that made it even more fun. So, because Douglas Adams had his hand in the whole thing, so I'm sure he was like, "Hey, can we make it do this?" So now this is exciting. Cool. I'm glad that Zork is free, and like I said, you can download emulators and run. There's websites with all the games on them, so you can go find all of them pretty much.
All right, I stuck one in here at the last minute because it came across my phone, and I thought this is too cool to ignore.
Oh.
New study suggests everyone was wrong about where the moon came from. It is made out of cheese. This was posted just a few hours before we recorded this video. Now, I'm open to different interpretations and different theories. So we're all familiar with the idea that there was this smaller planet about the size of Mars named Theia. They kind of glancing blow for the Earth blew off some material that accreted into the moon. Because when the astronauts went there, they brought back some rocks and they went, wow, this is really similar to the surface of the Earth. So at one time, maybe it was the surface of the Earth. That's the idea that we've been led to believe to today. However, they said, might not have been as accidental as everybody seems to think. I said, new research is
it was intentional.
What's that?
It was intentional. It wasn't as accidental as everybody.
It's just a projection up on the dome.
Yeah. They have to reset it every once in a while, but while everybody's sleeping.
Scientists are reportedly just finding out that influential Theia might have formed in the solar system right alongside Earth, meaning these two were once upon a time neighbors. I've heard also other theories that said there could have been as many as 20 planets in our solar system, that got gobbled up by Jupiter and Saturn and run into other things, or got flung out because of the the three body problem, whatever. It's there's reasons why we have the planets we have. In fact, Jupiter at one point moved in as far as Mars, Earth. I mean, it really came in very early, or very close to the sun, and then moved back out. So it says Earth and Theia are likely to have been neighbors, and then might not have just like, oh, look out, here I come.
Right.
It doesn't give much. One of the clues that helped scientists figure this out was Earth's iron content. When our planet was still forming, a substantial amount of iron trickled into Earth's core, yet its mantle still had a great amount of iron in it. All of this means that the planet's mantle must have gotten its iron from elsewhere, aka Theia, later on. The composition of the body archives its entire history of formation, including the place of origin. Thorsten Klein of the Max Planck Institute for Solar System Research said in a statement according to space.com. Despite this new information, some experts are still skeptical about all of it, which is fine. You want to be skeptical. You don't just go, well, that sounds good, I'm on board.
Yeah.
But interesting claims. We got
I always had this thought in my head that the moon was kind of slung out from a forming Earth because it's tidally locked, and it kind of made sense that it's kind of.
Well, most moons are tidally locked. That's not uncommon.
I know, but it just makes sense to me that it's a piece of the Earth that got slung out or something. Maybe it cooled a little. Maybe it got cooled a little quicker than the rest of it, and it got pulled away. I don't know. Just throwing that out there.
That's the thing.
That's my theory. They didn't put my theory in here.
Let's go to the hacks and strange stories. That was a little loud for the poor recording, but we'll take care of that in post. All right. You know how developers are with their coffee.
Yes. I know how I am with my coffee.
Well, I don't. But apparently everybody is trying to make a better coffee pot. It's like making a better mousetrap. And this one gentleman took an ESP32 and said, you know what I need? I need a way to turn on the coffee pot while I'm still in bed. So he hooked up an ESP32 microcontroller, which also has Wi-Fi on it, created an app, and said, click there. Now in 15 minutes, I'll have nice hot brewed coffee ready to go. Isn't that what the timer on the thing is for?
Yes. Oh, wait, I forgot to put water in it.
I don't know. I'm all about gadget tinkering and inventiveness. I mean, I did something similar with the Amazon Dash buttons in my house.
Yeah, I used to have a coffee maker that did not have a clock or timer on it. And I saw that problem. I went and bought one that had a clock and timer on it. Exactly. Actually, honestly, when I don't have a regular coffee pot right now. I've got like a little personal coffee thing. And when I had a coffee pot, I may load it up the night before. All I gotta do is walk in the kitchen, hit the button,
Yeah.
and in a few minutes, coffee's coming out.
This just
So
seemed like a solution for a problem that one person has.
that's what
Now watch. All these coffee makers are gonna come out with a smart version. I know Bosch has one that you can hook up APIs to, but
I was
that's
going to
kinda on
say.
the high end.
Surely there's a Wi-Fi coffee maker. Let's say, oh, there's about 12 of them right here.
Everything's
Ten.
gonna connect to an app on your phone, so why not?
Yeah, so now in the morning you have to wake up, hit the button on your phone to get it to start making coffee. Hmm.
Mm,
I don't think I need one that smart. I just a timer maybe, but I just need
nope.
one to go the button. That's all.
Yep. I I when I have guests coming over, they can wait the 5 minutes for the coffee to filter through the paper.
Yeah, this is just something else to put on the IoT network.
If you really have that much trouble getting out of bed in the morning, you might wanna look at your lifestyle and make a few changes, is my opinion.
Right.
Like, go to bed earlier, idiot.
Well, here's the other. Well, okay, I'll throw this out here. It would be cool to have the again. I could just do this with a timer. Have the thing come on, make the coffee because I like when I go walk the dogs in the morning. I like
Yep.
to walk with a cup of coffee. You know, kill two birds, right?
Well, that's a good point. Why don't you just install a smart plug or plug it into a smart outlet
You could do that too. I
and
do
then
that with
leave it on, and then when you're laying in bed in the morning, you go, "Smart outlet turned on."
well,
Done.
we have a turtle when it's got he's got a heat lamp, and so I got a wise plug, and you can tell it to come on at sunrise and then go off at sunset, and of course that changes over the year, and it does it. So I use those plugs all the time. Those are great.
All right, let's get through our last article before we go into some
Oh
of
wait,
the,
here you go.
auxiliaries.
So Mike was referring to the 1957 story where they were doing some nuke experiments and sealed the hole with a metal cover. It was approximately 150,000 miles per hour. Yeah, so there you go. Take that, SpaceX.
All of a sudden, the Tesla Roadster gets hit by a manhole cover from the 50s. Clong!
Yeah, that would be funny if it was embedded in the hood of the thing.
Okay, quick from techbuzz.ai. Anthropic's Claude AI has successfully programmed a $16,900 Unitree Go-To robot dog to perform complex tasks in controlled experiments. What they did is they said, "Hey, there's some things that the developers are having a difficult time, like follow that red ball, right?" And they said, "Well, let's have a model, see if we can do it." And they did it. They
Mhm.
actually they made some pretty interesting stuff happen with this dog. I'm paraphrasing a lot of this article, of course.
Sure.
Uh, but it makes me wonder if we're one step closer to the singularity where the robots take over. We have
Well,
all watched that episode of Black Mirror, right? Where the
well,
dog with the knife,
I was gonna say this wasn't the robot dog with a
the
gun on
gun.
it, though.
Yeah, the dog with the gun, and then he gets a knife.
A knife. Hey, when you say that, I'll think of that. You ever seen that little dog that's got is a meme or something? He had a costume on and it looked like Chucky. It's got
Yeah.
little, it's a costume on and the knife's flipping around.
But this also made me think, Craig,
Mhm.
what if you put in made it more like an autonomous dog or cat or other pet? You took one of these robot dogs and you just put some fur on it and it looked like a real dog and you could take it out for a walk. You wouldn't have to clean it up for it. You would, if I had a cat that didn't puke on the carpet,
Hey, when it charges batteries, make it look like it's pooping. Sits on the charger.
no, it's just purring. It's when it's plugged in. It's charging wireless. So it just
Yeah.
goes,
Remember the dog Alex from the beer commercials? Alex, get me a beer. And they showed the paw go up and open the fridge and get a beer out. You could do that.
well, I'm thinking when I get into the senior citizen home, I might have an AI robot dog or cat.
There you go. Not the little Sony one that Sony put out a while back. Ibo.
You know what I'm gonna get? I'm gonna get like a Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah.
That always used to happen when I was a kid. You'd hope for the high-end gadget and you'd get the wish.com version.
So you end up with this high-end robot AI dog, and you're trying to put a cassette tape in him so he can tell you a bedtime story.
Bark, 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 bark.
Oh, I love this story. Yeah.
Oh, it's Go Dog Go, my favorite.
Oh boy.
I do not like your hat. Sorry, that was for any of the parents who have read Go Dog Go by Dr. Seuss. One of our children's favorites. Okay, quick shout out to the chat room. We have a few people that are still hanging out with us. Thank you for watching. We are around on Sunday nights at 8:30. We had Jeff Jesse, Gary Lindros, Mike Robinson, Void Vrofficial. I'm working on it with my glasses. Charlotte Kugler, and many, many more. And the rest are here on Technorama Podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you. You can join us Sunday nights, 8:30 Eastern. If you're around, we'd love to see you. Some of you probably tripped across because we're now doing the vertical format on there. So maybe it's coming up in somebody's video feed that way.
Yeah. We'll see.
It's just a feature that StreamYard has. So we turn it on. We're giving it an experiment. Maybe.
Yeah. You like it?
A new viewer too. Yeah. If we're not your cup of tea, we understand. Sometimes we're not even our own cup of tea.
Yeah.
Or a smart tea, not like the smart coffee pot thing. Anyway, okay. Let's give a shout out to our patrons before we fall on our sword again.
Yeah.
Thank you to our patrons: Alexis Duran, Amber Elstad, Amy Bowen, Abner Braverman, Ben Vaughn, Brad Miller, Brian Brown, Chris Martinez. Whew. If this were a menu, my food would be cold by now.
Yeah.
Chris MC, Dandy Man Coyer, Dean Jensen, Denise Inglis, Gary Lindros, Jason Pollard, John Clifford, John Noble, Yorgos Rowan, Crazy Joe, Kyle Nishioka, Leon, M, Mark Kilfoyle, Mike Wills, Saturday Morning Media, Stephen Weshy, Steve Cody, Steve Therian, Steve Webb, Steve Lennon, Sylvain Racico, and Tim Cook. Thank you to all of you who support this show for as little as $1 a show. They make sure that we keep up the bad jokes.
Yeah. It's their fault.
And the video feed stays going. It is almost video feed payment time. So that really, really helps out. Thank you. Thank you. If you want to be part of that gang, not only do they get their name shout out, of course, they get a postcard, they get an extra episode that Craig and I record immediately after this that has more, we'll just call it less structured. We start with a couple of bullet points and see where it takes us for 20 or so minutes.
Yeah.
And keep you informed of how we're doing and what we're up to. Sort of like an audio version of the discussions we're having on Discord, which we might even include a few of those too.
Sure.
So we mentioned it a few times. If you want to join us there, chuckchat.com/Discord is where you go. If you want to be a patron, though, you go to chuckchat.com/Patreon.
Already had that.
There's the Discord link. Yep. Thank you. Craig is on top of it. I saw titles flipping around before. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Here, is that good enough? They can pause, they can pause what they want to see.
Yeah. No, you can't pause that. That's going to give you a seizure.
There you go. All right.
Let's move on to. Oh, we gotta. No, we're not doing too bad. What's the last part? Hand me the remote. Look how many buttons are on this remote.
Right. Oh, I have one.
This is my remote for the lights in the studio.
I have one for my computer I'm not using over there. It had lights in it. You could change them to flash or do whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd make those flash, but then the camera might do crazy things. Okay, I had a few of them. Let me run through these pretty quickly. These are pretty much all from Netflix. I did watch something recently on Disney, but it's not ready for this show review yet. One from Brian Brown that he mentioned on previously aforementioned, bit redundant Discord server called Night Teeth. It's a vampire flick, but takes a while to get into it. It's about a young man who is chauffeuring for his brother. He goes to this house and picks up this woman and this other woman, and they're kind of rich, kind of snooty. You get the idea that they're celebrities of some type. And as he's chauffeuring him around, he discovers the vampire underlying vampire culture. But there's been this long time truce, and somebody in the vampire community wants more power, so he's knocking off the other bosses. And I'm going to stop right there before I ruin it for you.
Yeah.
Good show. Good show. I enjoyed it once it got moving. It took a while though, for me anyway. The next one is Red Joan, starring what's her appropriate title? Dom Judy Dench.
Oh, yes.
She has a great story. It's about a woman.
Dame, not Dom.
Dom. It's French.
Okay.
It's about her story in the 1940s. She was an aspiring student, was brought in as a research assistant on an atomic program in England. And prior to that, she had some friends who were active in the communist movement. Yeah. So everybody's going, oh no, the communists. Well, you got to remember in the late 30s, early 40s, there were even people in America that were part of the communist movement. It wasn't a bad thing till somebody made it a bad thing.
Right.
And she started passing secrets to the Russians because her boyfriend was like saying, hey, can you help me out? And she says, no. Well, maybe. Okay. And interesting twist at the end. I'm going to leave it for you because it's a bit of a head scratcher going, you know what? She may have been right.
Okay.
She may have been right. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Another one is the Carmen family deaths. This is my indulgence into another true crime show about person went missing or unsolved crime or who fell off what cruise ship. This
Right.
was a story about
Happy family things, by the way.
yeah, again, it wasn't a happy family. It was a Greek family in, was it Rhode Island, Connecticut, something like that. And the patron of the family, he went from a rags to riches story. He was dealing in construction and real estate and whatnot, and made some money there. He had 2 daughters, 3 daughters, can't remember. And one of them had a son that was on the autism spectrum. And as he was growing up, he needed special help. Well, good old grandpa from, the old country is going, there's nothing wrong with him. And you find out later that he's got this bias against getting help where you need it because his sister needed help. And this was back in the days where if you showed any sign of mental issue, they gave you the old electrode treatment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't real thrilled about getting help. But mom said, Dad, stay out of this. This is our child. And he said, well, I'm going to disown you. You won't get any money. She goes, that's fine. Just stay out of it. And eventually, grandpa winds up dead, like shot in his bed, but nobody knows anything.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Then later, they're all going, well, who would have benefited the least from this? The grandson, because grandpa loved his grandson, and grandson apparently loved his. It was the friction between mom and her father. And so the son, who's now about 19, 20 years old, loves to go fishing. He says, Mom, you should come fishing with me. So they go fishing south, and the boat sinks. So they do this big search. And this isn't a little boat either. This was like 30 feet long, 25
like a John boat.
It was a fishing boat. What do they call it? The name of the boat was the Chicken Pox. And I guess it was his boat. And so they're asking,
whoa. Why would you name your boat Chicken Pox?
I don't know.
How about gout?
It's better than typhoid.
Hey, let's get on my boat. It says measles.
Bubonic plague. Anyway, they do this massive search, and they find him 8 days later floating in a little inflatable life raft. Okay, but there's all kinds of suspicious things going on around here. Like, There's no way he would have been floating for 8 days in that raft, jumped in the water, swam to a life ring, hung on to the life ring because you're really pretty weak at that point.
Hmm. Yeah, sure.
He said, "Well, I have some rations and whatnot." And he's walking up the stairs alongside the ship to get on deck. And they're like, that's not how somebody would look
Yeah,
after that long.
bounced
Something
up,
how
bounced up
long were
stairs.
you? And where's the life raft? Oh, it mysteriously deflated and sank after he jumped off. After being around for 7, 8 days. Yeah, that so
Okay.
he's looking suspicious for killing his grandpa and his mother, and then eventually he turned up dead in his jail cell, hung himself by shoelaces or something. It's a sad story, it really is. But
Wow.
uh, okay, another one, good one that I mentioned, The Outfit. Takes place in the 1950s in Chicago. It's a story of this cutter, not a tailor. He
Mhm.
prides himself on being a cutter because he's the one who cuts the fabric and makes the suits. He says anybody with 15 minutes of training can hem your pants and be a tailor. It's like,
Right.
well, okay, now we
Yeah.
have, but he trained for years to be a cutter, and his shop is being used by the mob as a drop spot.
Oh.
And they start getting these messages. um, it's like Vinny and his son Bobby, and Bobby is mixed up with it. It really has some wonderful twists and turns. Um, there's a young lady involved who starts out as his receptionist. The Englishman, it's an Englishman who's the cutter. So everything is told from his perspective. And this young lady has an interesting part to play. And it twists and turns, especially at the end. You're like, wow, didn't see that coming. So look for The Outfit on Netflix. It's
Okay.
there's a little bit of violence because there's some gunshots involved,
Sure.
but otherwise, really good job.
All right.
Uh, one that I enjoyed, a documentary called The Lion's Share. You're familiar with the song by the Tokens, "The Lion Sleeps
Oh,
Tonight."
yeah, of course. Yes.
That was based on, and it's been covered a whole bunch of times. That was based on an earlier song called Wemowe that was
Sure.
written by, the lyrics anyway, were by an American guy who adapted it from a South African song named Mbebe,
Okay.
which means lion. So we kinda anglicized it because I don't think the Americans could really sing Mbebe, 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 Mbebe. Yeah, sure, we can't sing that. So he came up with Wemowe, only it was recorded in the '30s by this guy named Solomon Linda at Gallo Studios. So it has providence. So- but somehow when it got to America, it got lost and it was listed as traditional African song. So everybody thought, oh, it was public domain. It should be free to share.
Mm.
That wasn't the problem until Disney got a hold of it in The Lion King and started making millions of dollars. And then
Oh,
they did a musical using the same song. And suddenly people are going, well, that ain't right. So
yeah.
this nice white South African guy said, I'm going to try and set things right because Solomon Linda is now deceased, but he has 3 daughters that have
Mhm.
survived. 4 when the story started, but there were 3 at the end of this, and 2 of them don't speak English.
Okay.
So they have no legal representation. And he says, "Well, we gotta find a lawyer." And they say, "We're gonna go after Disney."
Yeah. I bet you found 10 lawyers.
They thought that was pretty insurmountable, but they did come to a settlement, which was put in a trust, and it's not publicly disclosable what that amount was or how much the sisters are getting, but nobody's happy.
Hey, that's
It
the
was
definition of a compromise, isn't it?
yeah, nobody wins.
Yeah. Nobody's happy.
But I thought the history of the song itself was fascinating because I
Yeah.
didn't know any of that,
Right.
and it takes you through that. So, The Lion's Share on Netflix. The last one is Tenet. Notice that it's a palindrome, spells the same thing forwards as backwards.
That's the sort of newer, Christopher Nolan movie.
It is a Christopher Nolan movie, if I remember right, and it's kinda like James Bond, kinda like Inception, kinda like
It
it's got
came
a lot of
after
elements from other things.
I'm trying to remember if
Um,
it came after, Interstellar or
I think it was
after,
about
and,
2020,
uh
2021. I think it was after Interstellar because Interstellar is about 10 years old now.
Yeah, well, what was the other one? The one where they were in the dream sequences and stuff.
Inception.
Yes, I think it was after
Yeah, it's
Inception.
it's definitely got that vibe about it. Uh, I enjoyed it. It kept you thinking because there's all kinds of there's another movie it reminded me of, Predestination, something that Michael Meningay introduced me to
Mhm.
about this time loop, I'm my own grandfather kind of thing.
Yeah,
Not quite that, level of stuff, but you're going, wait a minute. If that happened in the past and this is happening in the future and these people are moving backwards and we're moving forwards and it I'm gonna have to see it again just to keep some of this stuff straight because it was kind of like, well, wait a minute, where were they the first time around kind of thing. So
yeah.
it's a lot of fun without being overly repetitive and loopy.
Chuck's like, "I've been in this room before, and what am I doing in here? Oh, wait, I'm looking for my keys."
Yeah, now if only former Chuck could tell me where I left those USB adapters, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
think I think he took them and moved them. It's not your wife that's moving things around on you, Craig. It's you in another time
yeah,
frame.
yeah, messing with myself.
Yep.
That's exactly what's happening.
Watch, I'm gonna put the water from here to here.
Yeah.
Just to mess with future Craig.
Mhm.
All right, what do you got? You got one on your list.
Yeah, I thought I'd watched something I really hadn't seen before, but, anyway, I guess I didn't make a note of it. But, my wife and I went to go see Nate Bargatze, at the,
Okay.
Greenville, North Carolina, Securus, Wellness Arena. Trying to remember how you say that. I got it in here as Secures, but it's Securus, I think, Wellness Arena. Anyway, they had 4 comedians actually open, and then Nate came out. Are you familiar with Nate?
No.
He's got well, you can go watch some of his specials on Netflix. You'll get a good taste of him. He's a clean comedian. He doesn't really cuss or swear or anything like that, but he has some good observational kind of humor, maybe slightly self-deprecating, if you want to look at it that way. But he is he is really good and funny, and he pulls in huge crowds, which is amazing. And I know he's going to stop touring within probably I think next year. So I thought wanted to at least go see him one time,
Mhm.
and so he did a great job. Actually, everybody was great. Well, let me back up. The first uh opening acts were pretty good. One of them I really liked. I'm not going to say which ones because I don't want to get into the weeds that and put anybody down, but they were all really good. And then of course Nate's great. So yeah, go check out his he's got 3 or 4 specials on Netflix. So
Okay.
yeah.
I will look for that. Probably download them as because I'm gonna need some material to get me to
Yeah. Yeah,
India
you are.
next month.
Right.
All right. That takes us to the end of the show. We do have one thing in the Geek Library. We're going to just mention it real quickly, leave it for you to look for.
Yeah.
Chuckchat.com, episode 790. What happened to IP5? How did we go from IPv4 to
Yeah.
IPv6?
I think this is one of those fleeting thoughts I had one time and just didn't follow up to go look and see what happened with it. But yeah, it was actually a thing. It was designed in the late 70s and it was an experimental protocol for real-time streaming, believe it or not.
Audio mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, but can you believe that? As in the 70s, you know, way back
Well,
then?
they knew that they were going to run out of IPv4 addresses eventually. And IPv6 was even initiated back in the 80s.
Yeah, but it says this is a protocol designed for streaming.
And here we
Real-time
are
streaming.
some 35, 40 years later, and we still have people, present company included, especially for home networking, that won't let go of my IPv4. It's just more readable.
Well, I've also got a lot of institutional knowledge about IPv4 because I've been using it for so long. I honestly haven't really messed with 6 very much. So, yeah, it's one of those things that maybe I should. I think
Maybe you
everything pretty
should.
much supports it by now.
I just don't want to type in those numbers.
No, that's the problem.
I know there's a shorthand. If there's a whole bunch of zeros, you can just leave them out.
Sometimes don't you go, okay, I got the IP number, and you go over here and go, what was the last 3 or what was the last digits? Oh, yeah, here you go. You
I
know.
think the only shortcut is your local host is a bit shorter. Instead of 127.0.0.1, it's like colon, 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 1.
Oh yeah.
That's the only thing that works.
Yeah. I think inside my network it doesn't matter. I think outside the network it
Yeah.
should matter. Because I keep saying, "Well, we're running out of IP space," but things still work.
For now, the article even said that they're being used as currency. People are like hoarding their IPv4
Oh,
numbers and
I
using.
know. I think corporations were doing that because they were handing out classes right
Oh yeah,
now a long time ago, and so like Microsoft and other ones, they're holding on to all those big classes that they bought a long time ago. So yeah, they're part of the problem, and they don't need that much. Well, take that back. Cloud computing, yeah, they do need that much,
yep, yep. For the public facing stuff,
but still,
internally, nah.
no.
If 172 was good enough for my dad, it was good enough for
I
me.
know. Actually, in my own personal network, I prefer 10 dot numbers because they're shorter, they're easier to type rather than 192.168. I'm like, why are all these routers defaulting to 192 when it's easier to type 10.1.1.1 or whatever. I hate that.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna swap my IP space now. Hold on.
Yeah, I'll wait. Okay, that takes us to the end of the show. Our question of the week is, what's our question of the week?
Oh, I didn't put one in
We'll
here.
come up with something. We'll post it on
Yeah.
social media and, of course, in our question of the week channel on the Discord server. Look for question of the week 791. That'll be our next episode.
Here you go. What's your IP address?
There is a website to tell you that.
Yeah, IPchicken.com. Check it out.
I think there's like what's my IP.
You can ask Google what's my IP.
Yep.
Anyway, I'll come up with a question.
We'll come up with one. We'll get it posted to you. We just don't have
Right.
it for you to think about at the end of this episode, but give us a minute. We'll get
Why are
one.
you watching these people?
Someone still is.
Yeah.
All right, Lisa.
Hey, Lisa.
Just wrapping up. Thanks for joining us.
Yay.
All right. That takes care of it for this week. Let's get on out of here. If you want to get in touch with us, of course, there's always the Discord server. I know I'm saying that a lot because that's where I have been hanging out a lot and importing data and doing some development and having lots of fun. But you can also use the good old fashioned voice line 707-530-2428. 707-530-chat. Add it to your speed dial numbers if you like. You can get a hold of us via email, technorama@chuckchat.com. Both of us will get that. And if you're lucky, we'll read it on the air as long as it's parent friendly, children friendly. As long as we're friendly.
Yeah.
Till next time, tell a friend about Technorama. Thanks for hanging out with us, whether you're on audio, video, now, later, whatever. Take care. Give us a binary high five, Craig. We're out of here.
All right. 101.
Audio has concluded.
I can breathe.
I can pull out this encryption card.
Yeah. Encryption card. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks everybody for hanging out.
Yeah.
We are going to stop the video feed now and do what we consider a fair job at our Patreon show.
A fair job.
As I said to my kids every day when I dropped them off for school, you don't have to get A's, just do your best. So we're going to do our best.
But get